Hey you guys, so over the last week I have brought home two new fans. Both of them were free. One of them was astonishing value, the other one is a bit of a project. So we'll start with the really exciting one first, and that is this. Now some people might mistake this for one of them Hampton Bay Windwards. This is not. This is a Emerson. This is the Emerson, I guess I could say version, even though theirs has a lot of differences. This is, of course, the Midway Eco. There's, a lot of differences. This one's got an Eco motor, uses more Emerson quality parts and finishes. And I'm not too sure what kind of light bulbs the Windward had, but this has 4 GU24 base sockets in there, which I went ahead and replaced with LEDs because 2 of the CFLs were burned out. And I wasn't going to go out trying to find CFLs when there were LEDs at the Menards really close to my house, so I went ahead and did that. See, this is a free find, and it's in excellent shape. You can see a little bit of scratching up there, but not that bad. So yeah, this was 100% free, and besides having to buy more light bulbs for it, I didn't have to put any money or really effort into it. My grandma called us. We were just leaving somewhere, and she was like, hey, go to this address, go pick up this fan. Apparently she saw it just get posted on Marketplace, and she didn't really know what it was, but she just decided to send it to us, and then we went ahead and grabbed it. It was just on the side of the road, so we went and got it. It was in a trailer park, actually. And yeah, this is a $600 fan here, so it was just on the side of the road, and it was free, which is absolutely incredible. And it's in terrific shape too, which makes me really happy. Everything works great. I couldn't be happier. I really do love this fan. It's super cool looking, and it only uses like 17 watts on high, and it moves tons of air. And with the LEDs in here, it's ridiculously bright. But the only gripe, which I'm sure you guys would expect with an earlier DC product, is of course speed range. It's not terrible. The low speed is reasonable. It's slower than that, but it's still not as slow as we could get it. But that's okay. I can't really complain too much about that. The low speed where it's at is great. Even going slower than the low speed, you could still feel air coming from it though. It's just a really, really strong fan. And I just absolutely love it. And I'm really glad I got one. And yeah, this means that once I record a demo of this, we will have seen one in each finishes here. I believe that no other collector actually possesses one of these. However, there are a couple of videos of a white and a brushed nickel one on display at a showroom. I think that was the Hawaiian Florida fan collector who posted those. And yeah, now I've got this this oil rub bronze one here. And yeah, I just love it. I really do love this fan. It is so cool. I'm really, really glad to have it. No, I wasn't too sure. It could have literally been any fan. My grandma wouldn't have really known or paid attention to the difference. It literally could have been something like this, or it could have been some junker like that Harbor Breeze over there. It could have literally been anything, but I lucked out and it was a good fan. And yeah, this is definitely a permanent collection fixture here. And someday I'm sure I'll find a spot to install it. This is a fan that would deserve it. I mean, it's energy efficient, it looks good, it works good, it's got a bright light on it, it's got everything that I would really want, so I'm sure someday this fan will earn its place. And it's of course made by King of Fans, because like I said, Hampton Bay has the Windward, or Windward 4 I should say, and those are also King of Fans products. So anyways, I did say I have 2 free fans. The other one is a rare fan, well, kind of rare. Even though I haven't really seen too many of them, so yeah, it's over here. This is a Commander New Angel here, and this one, basically the New Angel is of the version with the vents here, and the regular Angel is the one without, and they came in a bunch of different sizes, 36 all the way up to 56 inches, and they had 4 different versions. They had with and without switch housing, with and without vents. So yeah, there were quite a few different options to get that, and that was another free find. However, unfortunately, the day before we went to get it, the seller's son ran over a blade. Yes, that's right, you heard me right. This fan got partially run over. The arms are all okay, for the most part. One of them slightly tweaked, but I don't think that was the car. But yeah, you can see them all sitting under these bottles of water. I'm trying to flatten them. I was actually really impressed. They've actually been flattening terrifically, and that makes me want to go grab some of these other blades and see if I can flatten them that way. Of course, these were just very, very recently damaged, and they were actually more bent, so maybe that's why these ones are flattening out so well. Who knows? Maybe I'll try some other blades of mine that are pretty warped, especially that Emerson set that I got with the Province, because that really needs to be fixed as well. But anyways, yeah, so they're just all under here, and it did get run over by a car. Two of the blades are perfectly fine. One of them is slightly scratched, slightly warped. The other one is really warped, and the end of the blade is all splitting apart. All the different layers of the plywood, like right here on the tip, they're all just sort of splitting apart. So who knows whether I'll be able to fix them. I'm not really too sure. I figured I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try, and we'll see where it takes me. At some point, I'll try see if I can glue that end back together, and we'll see what happens. And otherwise, I will just go and find a new set of blades somewhere someday for it. And, that's perfectly fine with me, too. It'll just take a little more time. But as per usual with those Commanders, even though that one's vented, the bearings are still terrible. They sound just as bad as all the Angels that Cole has. And he pulled out of that place or wherever from that auction, I think is where he ended up with all of them. He had like 9 of them. Yeah, it sounds just as bad, even though that one's vented. So clearly the vents didn't do nearly as good as Commander advertised them to. But yeah, it's a really cool fan. It's not very common, so I'm still glad I went ahead and got it, And in the picture, it did not have the mount with it. However, they dug out the mount for me, so that made it even better. Because not having a mount for that with that flat canopy wouldn't have been fun. But it turned out okay. And for the demonstration video, I ended up stealing the blades off the Sigma because those fit. So yeah, I put 36-inch blades on a motor that was designed for 52. Even though I think that the motor sizes were the same across all the blade sizes. Maybe it was just the capacitors that were altered. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the fan did really fly with those smaller blades on it, which makes me think that there was some kind of difference between the larger sizes and the smaller ones. I'm just not too sure what it was. But yeah, so those are the 2 brand new fans I've got here. I love both of them. Both of them are really great additions to the collection. This thing is just amazing. This is an early one, too. This fan here is from 2012. So yeah, it's a real good staple of early modern DC technology. I say modern DC technology because, of course, Homestead experimented with the super fan. And before that, you, of course, had fans that were actually made to run on DC, in the 20s and 30s and whatnot. So, yeah, these were pretty early modern examples there. And I really do think that they did a terrific job, I can't really complain too much besides the speed range. And that's something that most people wouldn't even complain about. So, all in all, terrific fan here. And I do have a couple new pieces of literature. I'm not going to go out of my way to go upstairs and show you. I just got a hold of that new Kichler supplement finally, the one for June. And then I also have a brand new catalog for the new year, which you guys are going to be seeing on Wednesday. And I'm obviously going to keep the rest of it a surprise. And yeah, so that basically just leaves me with no catalogs left for this year besides technically the Transglobe one. However, the rep said they were going to drop that off for me. They never did yet, but they'll get around to it at some point. And then, yeah, new catalogs and fans are starting to show up on some of the company's websites. So make sure you're checking those daily. That's what I do, and that's how I'm always one of the first people to, to see them. I should say first, just general members of the public to see them. So yeah, just make sure to keep an eye out on the websites, and I'm sure you guys are going to see some cool stuff showing up soon. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.